Hello everyone, welcome to my channel The Virgo Dad. Today I'll be sharing with you on burping babies. I respect everyone's time, so I always try to timestamp my videos, so do check out my video description down below for the timestamps to this video. And I hope that the timestamp will be able to help you to find the content you are looking for more quickly. So if you are looking for the techniques to burp your baby, you can check out the timestamp below. Okay, let's get right into it. So here are the topics I'll be covering for today. So these are around the concepts of burping your baby. So first we have to understand, why does gas get trapped? Then next will be the thought process behind burping babies. And when to burp your baby. So there are different situations or opportunities that you get to burp your babies. Then the burping principles and the different ways you can burp your baby. So these are the different techniques you can use to burp your baby. Once we understand all of this, we put it together and you will be a pro in no time. You will know how to burp your babies the proper way, when to burp, how long to burp, and so on. Now we'll talk about how does the gas gets into your baby's system. For each swallow that your baby takes during feeding, be it through bottle or direct latching, there will be inevitably some air that gets into the system. So with each swallow, a little air gets into the system. Also, the speed of the swallowing will affect the amount of air that gets into the system. So the faster your baby swallows, the more likely they are getting more air with each swallow or gulp. Now we'll move on to the thought process of burping. So first thing first, we'll need to talk about the purpose of burping. Why do we need to burp our baby? So burping our baby actually helps facilitate the baby to get the air out of their system. Then now we will need to talk about how does the gas get removed from the system. So I would like to use this analogy like a carbonated drink or a fizzy drink. So wherever gas needs to get out, they need to find an opening. And the next thing is they need to form big enough bubbles, because on bigger bubbles, they will tend to be easier to get out of the system. So if you go to the analogy of the fizzy drink, you'll notice that if the gas bubbles around the glass does not get energy or agitated, they will sort of stick around the glass and then take quite long to get out of the drink. But whereas if you give some energy, some boost to it, like if you move the cup a little or if you use the straws to guide the gas bubbles together to form bigger gas bubbles, they tend to find it more easy to get out of the drink in that case. So the same thing with burping a baby. When we pat the baby to burp them, what we are actually doing is facilitating the gas bubbles to escape. And then by patting the baby or moving the baby around, it will also help the gas bubbles find the exit, the opening to get out of the system. Now we'll talk about the situations when it is a good opportunity or time to burp your baby. So the first one will be immediately after feeding. So during feeding, there's a lot of swallowing and then there will be the gas that gets trapped in the system. So immediately after feeding, position your baby in the one of the burping methods that I will go through later, and then you can help facilitate your baby to get the gas out of the system. The next situation is during feeding. So you may have already encountered that during feeding, sometimes your baby will just stop drinking and then start to cry. So that could be a sign that there's a lot of gas build up, so they are feeling uncomfortable and they are trying to tell you that, oh, please help me get the gas out of the system. So when your baby cries during feeding and stop feeding, that's the time you can try to burp your baby. Next will be when you are trying to direct latch your baby or your wife is trying to direct latch the baby. It's a good practice to balance out. So you should use half the duration on one side and the other half on the other side. So when you are switching between sides, it's a good practice to burp your baby between these switches. The other situation that you may need to burp your baby is during the non-feeding periods when your baby becomes restless and cry. So there are many reasons that your baby would cry. So usually it's to try to tell you something. It can be because of discomfort or when they are hungry. So one of the reasons that they feel discomfort is when there's gas buildup in their system. So when the baby is resting in their crib, they can move around, and when they move around on their own, they will also sort of facilitate the gas to like gather together, or maybe during the digestion of the milk, it could cause this gas to build up in their system. So when that happens, it's time to burp your baby. So you can try when they feel restless and cry, you can try checking the diaper, you can check if they are hungry, and the other thing that you can check is if your baby is hot, or try burping them to see if it could be because of the gas buildup in their system that is causing them the discomfort. Now let's talk about burping principles. So the first on our list here will be preparing a cloth for spit up. So spitting up is actually quite common for newborns, as their system is not really used to the milk that they are getting. It's easy for their system to reject, and then they will have this kind of spit up. So that will move us to the next principle, which is to cup your palm when patting the baby. So what I mean by cupping my palm, so it's doing this when patting the baby's back. So you can try this on yourself, like on the forearm here, if you pat using this way to burp the baby, or if you cup. So usually if you use cupping method, it will not feel as painful as compared to using a flat palm and hitting the baby's back. So why I'll say using a cup arm is to my next principle, which is not to use excessive force, because as I've mentioned earlier, burping your baby is actually all about facilitating the gas to get out of the system. Next, we'll talk about the 5-minute rule. So when we understand what is burping for, which is to facilitate the gas to get out, then I would say the maximum you have to try to burp your baby is 5 minutes, because if the baby doesn't burp within the 5-minute period, it's more likely that they won't be burping anytime soon. So we can try again later. Because if the baby will burp, they will burp. If they will not, no matter how long you try, they will not burp. Because sometimes when there's not enough gas in the baby's system, it's also hard for them to get the gas out. Sometimes if they don't burp, okay, then continue feeding or let them rest, and when then they cry, then you can start to try to burp them again. So do not try to force a burp out. Next, we'll talk about straightening your baby's back. Your baby's system, if it's more upright and then straightened, it's easier for the gas to come out of the system. So try to keep your baby's back straightened so that the gas is easier to come out. If the back is curved, it's harder for the gas to find the opening to get out of the system. But if it's straightened, it's a straight path, and then it's easier for the baby to get the gas out. Especially for newborns, when you straighten their back, they can automatically just burp. Just with you straightening their back, you don't even have to pat them, and that's what I experienced for my daughter. Now I will show you methods you can use to help burp your baby. So I will always like to prepare before burping the baby a cloth for any speed ups that might occur if you are burping your baby after the feeding or in between feedings. And I also prepare a small little pillow to support the baby's back. So what I'll do, I'll show the first method will be the seated forward lean. I'll be using this method to cup and support my baby. So this is a support, so you don't really use it to grip or grab your baby, but more of a support, and this is loose. And then I'll use the palm here, this part, to support my baby's chest when it's doing the forward lean. So first, I'll take the cloth, I'll put on my baby here. So I'll bring our star little me. She'll help me to show you how I burp her. Okay, I'll bring her, I'll put her on the pillow to support her back. I'll put the cloth here to prevent any speed ups. And what I like to do, I'll bring this cloth up so to prevent any speed ups. And then I'll do a cut. So if you see here, my fingers are loose. Or maybe I'll do it with the cloth first to show. So my fingers are loose. I'll be supporting her. So if you see here, it's the cut method. So let her forward lean. And then I'll do a cut method to pat, so it's not so painful. I'll put it behind back and pat to facilitate the burping. Okay, remember, burping is to facilitate the gas out. You don't need to use too much strength. Just gentle pats. And you don't need to do more than 5 minutes, because if your baby can't burp, then he or she will not be able to burp for the moment. So no need to do too long. Okay? And if it doesn't burp, you can try again later. So now the second method I'll show you is over the shoulder, or you can do a variation over the chest. So same thing, you prepare the cloth. I would like to do, I put it over my shoulder. You can do it either on the left or your right side. So I'll do it on my left. So I'll carry little May, supporting her neck, lower back. So I'll bring her over my shoulder this way. Then I can lean back a bit to give her support. Same thing, I'll cup my hands and then pat gently. So this is the over the shoulder burp, but I can't really see her expression here. So what I like to do a little variation. I'll bring her just over my chest, lean her back a bit. So same thing, cup, and then I'll pat. Okay. So this is the second method. So her neck is quite strong now at nearly 3 months. So she's moving her neck a lot. Okay. The next method, I'll call it the underhand method. I only use this method to burp little May when she wakes up during her sleep because I find that this method is the easiest for her to go back to sleep after burping. Then if you see here, I'll move my arm underneath the baby. So I'll be using my forearm to support the baby. So I'll go underneath, under her, and then you see my forearm. This method, I can adjust the angle how much I want. So I can pat her this way. Okay. If you like this video, please remember to smash the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you.